Crawford is f***ing trash. Don't ever compare Crawford to Canelo again. Shout out young Triple G. He f***ing did his shit. I felt he won. At least a draw. F*** the judges. F*** you weirdos. You guys suck ass. And f*** Crawford. You're not pound for pound. Suck dick. You never fought nobody good. You fought Spence that had a car accident. F*** you, bitch.
Boxing pros have reacted to the intense boxing fight between Terence Crawford and Israil Madrimov. Here are the most shocking reactions. Before this fight, Hearn, the renowned promoter, confidently forecasted its outcome. Hearn believed that this specific incident would mark a sea change in Madrimov's career and could put him on the map. He's ready to knock out Terence Crawford in Los Angeles. This is the fight that turns Israil Madrimov into a superstar, Hearn said on Twitter earlier this week. Madrimov stepped into the ring as the underdog, yet a knockout victory would have aligned him perfectly with Hearn's vision. Speculations swirled about his future opponents should he triumph, but such thoughts are far from Madrimov's focus. He said before the fight, "I'm concentrating on this fight against Terence Crawford. I don't think about anything else. I'm there to win the fight, and after the fight, we can talk about everything else." Tony Bellew held great admiration for Israil Madrimov. However, he remained convinced that the Uzbek fighter would ultimately come up short when facing Terence Crawford. After beating Errol Spence last summer, Crawford has found his name entangled with a variety of potential bouts, most notably a high-stakes clash with Canelo Alvarez. Crawford's first opponent was Madrimov, and Bellew anticipated that he would continue his excellent performance. Before this fight, Bellew said, "I'd find it hard to back against Madrimov against most opponents, but Crawford is something special. You're looking at one of the best fighters of his generation, and he's not showing any signs of slowing down." He further added, "Madrimov is an excellent fighter with many great qualities, and you've heard Hearn talk about how good he is. He might have some good moments in the fight, but Crawford is on another level to most fighters, and I think he'll win again." Joel Diaz, Madrimov's trainer, said that Madrimov would be a challenging opponent. Diaz told ProBox TV, "It's a very tough task. Terence Crawford is the best fighter pound for pound and very well-rounded. It's an honor to work on a plan to beat him. We have a good strategy with a good fighter." Diaz continued, "You don't know what to expect with Crawford, and Madrimov is the same way. They both dominate their stances from both sides, so we've had good left-handers, right-handers, speed guys, so we can be ready. We'll expect plan A, B, and C versus Terence Crawford. We know who we're stepping into the ring against." They were optimistic going into the bout, according to Diaz. He added, "He's been 100% disciplined. He makes his opponents uncomfortable comfortable, and it's not going to be easy for Crawford. Israil is very confident. Virgil Ortiz Jr. predicted that Terence Crawford would be securing a swift knockout victory in his championship bout against Israil Madrimov. Crawford, now 37, had one of the least impressive resumes for a multi-division world champion, on par with Adrian Broner. Similar to Broner, Crawford has faced long periods of inactivity, and when he does step into the ring, it's often against less challenging opponents like David Avanesian or fighters past their prime, such as Sean Porter and Errol Spence. Easy work. He f***ed him up. He was probably around 180, said trainer Robert Garcia to ES News, talking about Israil Madrimov during his sparring with Virgil Ortiz Jr. That's the real reason why I say Crawford is going to get him. I've been in the ring with him. Crawford is going to get him in less than 7, said Virgil Ortiz, predicting an early knockout for Terence Crawford over Madrimov. Tensions were running high between Ortiz and the undefeated Madrimov following controversial remarks in a recent interview. Virgil Ortiz revealed that Madrimov claimed he was merely toying with him during their sparring session, stirring up a storm of animosity. Virgil Jr. remained unconvinced. He firmly asserted that he controlled their entire session. His trainer, Robert Garcia, supported his claim, suggesting he won the sparring match, as if victory in sparring were a real thing. Do you get a trophy for that?
Sparring with Virgil Ortiz, he seemed to be a little apprehensive about what you had said. I don't know if it was lost in translation in the interview, but by chance, did you listen to Virgil's reaction to the sparring?
They asked him about me, and he was like, oh yeah, he's a good fighter, and this and that, and it's like, what do you think of him? And he was like, well, he's a normal boxer, and we went to just play with him or whatever. So I mean, to me, that's how do I say?
Dissing you, like dissing what
selection is throwing shade, you know what I mean?
There's nothing to really say. I mean, we had a good sparring. He's very good. He's athletic. He's quick. I was helping him in preparation in his fight.
Virgil Jr.'s reaction to the sparring might seem a bit petty, but it's his way of generating buzz for his upcoming bout with WBC interim junior middleweight champion Serhiy Bohachuk. The fight has struggled to capture public interest, thanks to a lackluster promotional effort. No amount of hype could spark enthusiasm among the fans. Virgil Jr. has remained on the sidelines for too long, sidelined by persistent health issues. Without facing top-tier opponents, he hasn't had the opportunity to capture the attention of the boxing world and make a real impact. When it comes to sparring, Israil Madrimov could be Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s clever way to grab some attention, even if it feels a bit opportunistic. Let's hope Virgil doesn't turn this into his go-to career move by boasting about sparring anecdotes and trying to shine as a training camp sensation. That's a fight that can happen too, said Robert Garcia, reacting to Eli Sechbach saying that Virgil Ortiz can knock out Crawford. Virgil becomes the interim champion, and Crawford is the WBA champion. That's the next fight that could happen too. So we go that direction too, said Robert, wanting Virgil to fight WBC junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora. Sean Porter, a former rival of Crawford, weighed in on the bout, expressing strong confidence that Bud would handle the challenge presented by Madrimov with ease. Porter told DAZN, "My first time looking at it was just this morning. I watched some Madrimov, I think. That Terence. It always takes you a couple of rounds to see what these guys bring to you. I expect to see Madrimov in your face. I expect the stick to come out from Crawford." He further added, "I expect him to start the fight orthodox. I think this is going to be a fun fight. You're going to have your hands full, but I think you will handle it. You always handle it. Some people are born to do what they do, and this kid is born to do what he does." Determined to take on Saul Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight eventually, Bud initiated his transition to the division by climbing to 154 pounds to face Israil Madrimov. Madrimov, who captured the WBA title from Magomed Kurbanov earlier this year, stood as Bud's first challenge in this new weight class. In April, Tim Bradley predicted that Crawford would crush Madrimov during their bout. Bradley remarked that Crawford beats anyone he faces in the ring, asserting that no one can defeat Terence Crawford. He mentioned that those attempting to outlast Crawford by waiting for him to age were mistaken. Bradley highlighted that 2 weeks prior, Crawford had completed 15 4-minute rounds, 12 with Shakur and 3 with Shakur's cousin, with only 30 seconds of rest in between. He noted that Crawford had a fight scheduled for August and predicted that Crawford would crush his opponent at 54, including Madrimov.
Hey, Crawford beats anybody he steps in the ring with. Anybody. He don't go, no one beats him. No one beats Terence Crawford. And everybody's trying to age him out. Bro, the dude 2 weeks ago did 15 4-minute rounds. 12 with Shakur, 3 with Shakur's cousin. 4-minute rounds, 30 seconds rest. Think about that. He has a fight when?
August 3rd. So he'll do good at 54.
He gonna crush this dude at 54. What's his name?
Israil Madrimov. He trains with Joel.
He gonna crush you.
In another interview, the Hall of Fame fighter turned analyst shifted to a more reserved perspective, as highlighted in a recent segment with ProBox TV. Bradley said, "The ultimate goal is Terence Crawford wants to face Canelo Alvarez. He's on the tail end of his career. He said he only had a few fights left and he wants to maximize as much money as he possibly can, and that's the Canelo fight. But you guys said it, Madrimov is no easy task. Terence has to get past him first." Meanwhile, Madrimov mentioned that Andre Ward had been assisting Crawford with sparring. He remarked, "His helping out Terence Crawford may help him, but maybe not. We'll see in the ring. If it's something that motivates him and helps him, good for him. Bivol is helping me prepare for the fight." Crawford's training sessions with the 40-year-old Andre Ward haven't attracted much attention. Ward's fighting style is significantly different from Madrimov, and the workout footage reveals that Ward doesn't seem to be in top shape. Madrimov added, "We choose our path. His path was in professional boxing, and my path was in amateur boxing. So I went on to win multiple world titles as an amateur." Madrimov's extensive amateur career has likely provided him with more experience compared to Crawford's professional record. While Madrimov faced numerous elite opponents in the amateur ranks, Crawford's professional record includes a number of matches against less formidable opponents, both early and later in his career. Madrimov added, "Once we got into the pros, we went the hard way. We chose the hard path, with all 10 fights being tough fights. 6 of them were title eliminators, and all of them were tough. So stiff competition. Yes, he's more known, but that's my opportunity." Before the fight, Eddie Hearn took the chance to provoke Crawford, but Crawford responded energetically in a video, reflecting on his first world title win over Ricky Burns in Scotland, which Hearn had promoted. Crawford pointed out that he was 3-0 against Hearn, highlighting his undefeated record in fights promoted by Hearn and mentioning his victory over Hearn's top champion. But Hearn responded with humor, stating that Crawford still owed him for a hotel breakfast and suggesting that the Burns fight should have ended in a draw. The playful exchange became more serious when Hearn commented on Crawford's behavior leading up to the Madrimov fight. Hearn noted that Crawford seemed unusually nervous and that his energy appeared off. He expressed concern about Crawford's performance, implying that he might not be taking the fight seriously.
I don't think you can hoop.
What? I definitely can't hoop. Well, I can hoop. I'm probably still better than you at hooping as well. But I'm definitely
You ain't better than me in nothing.
Darts.
And talking, that's it.
Talking?
So you talk a good game. You ain't better than me in nothing.
Darts.
Nothing.
Darts.
Nothing.
Darts.
Today.
You're very nervous today. I don't know what's wrong with you.
I've been here.
Your energy's all off.
I've been here.
I'm worried about you on Saturday.
Last time I
don't think you're taking this fight right.
I'm 3-0 against you, sir.
That doesn't matter.
3-0.
One was against Ricky Burns, you're 135 pounds.
That's your best champion.
Despite the lighthearted banter, it was clear that the mental game was in full effect. Madrimov posed a significant challenge for Crawford, but Crawford, who started his career at 135 pounds, had methodically succeeded in every division leading up to this crucial bout. Supporting the headline fight was an impressive undercard, featuring Isaac Pitbull Cruz defending his super lightweight title. Additionally, there were 2 exciting heavyweight matchups, Andy Ruiz Jr. facing off against Jarrell Miller, and the promising Jared Anderson taking on Martin Bacol. Fans and analysts alike were eager to see if Crawford could meet the challenge posed by Madrimov's formidable power and skill. This event promised to be a defining moment for both fighters.
That's your best champion.
That was your hardest fight.
That's your best champion.
That was your hardest fight.
Why would you disrespect your best champion?
This is going to be your hardest fight, Saturday.
That's your best champion.
Yeah,
Why would
115,
you
113. Should have been a draw.
Never.
See the scorecards.
See, man, where Ricky at, man? I like Ricky, dude. Where Ricky at? Man, you disrespectful.
You robbed him in Scotland.
You disrespectful.
You robbed him in Scotland.
I robbed him.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.